everyone. Welcome to Dueling Authors, Wisdom and Words with Todd and Kyra Schaefer. How are you doing tonight, Todd?
I am doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Good. All right. Pretty good. My light bulb just burnt out. So we've got some magical power happening right now, I think.
There's a storm brewing outside.
There is a storm, a brewing.
Monsoon season here in Arizona.
We might get a drop of rain, which will be enlightening.
I love that.
So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm Kyra Schaefer. I am the co-founder of As You Wish Publishing with Todd Schaefer. And I have been working with clients in the holistic, professional holistic business field for the last 20 years. And then Todd and I opened up As You Wish Publishing, and then I realized I could not do it alone. And Todd said yes, that he would come and work with me as we started to build it together. And we have had a number of ups and downs over the last 8 years in this business, but we've owned businesses prior, successful businesses prior to this one. Mm-hmm. And we really just, I am great at starting something, and he is fantastic at building the structure. He is great at me jumping out of an airplane and him sewing my parachute together.
Yeah.
So yes, that's me. And we've helped hundreds of authors over the years to get published in collaboration books as well as their own solo books. And we're going to talk tonight about our new offering called Flex Publish. Todd, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Todd Schaefer. As Kyra said, I am the co-founder of As You Wish Publishing. And gosh, we've done a whole lot, haven't we?
Really?
We published over 70 books, a lot of collab books, a lot of solo author books, usually for first-time authors. And we really help people to establish their voice and get their voice out. So that's a really great thing that we offer. I have published my own books. I'm getting ready to publish my 5th book, which comes out probably at this rate, it looks like it might be September. I'm hoping for that. And I'm gonna get it ready as fast as possible to help that time frame happen. And I just got the news that my 4th book, Needing versus Leading, How to Eliminate Approval Seeking in Clients and Tribes, just won first place at a book fair.
Yay!
That
Congratulations.
Is very cool. Award-winning book, my first award-winning book. Thank you.
Yeah, very exciting. So if you happen to jump on here, please say hi to us in the comments. We want to hear from you and see you. And let's go ahead and dive in. What do you say, Todd?
Let's do it.
All right. So we were going to talk about Flex Publish today. So we have kind of created different types of packages all along the way. We've had really big, all-encompassing, robust packages. And then we've also had ones where you have your manuscript ready and you upload it, and we're going to produce a book from that manuscript. So we've had all these different variations along the way. And Flex Publish is special and very unique because we are a self-publishing services company. And so we are committed to helping people with their voice and getting it out there. So this is another tool in our toolbox of being able to do that and help others. Do you have anything you'd like to say about Flex Publish?
About what?
Question. Do you have anything you'd like to say about Flex Publish before we get into the question?
Okay, you're getting muffled. About Flex Publish, yeah, it's our flagship product for publishing. We used to have multiple publishing options for people, but and then we introduced Flex based on the evolving needs of our authors, and then we recently decided to eliminate those other options and just go with Flex because Flex offers the most flexibility. And in addition to that, yeah, I mean, it kind of caters to everything. Like anyone can fall into that. So we just simplified it because it offers the most options, the most flexibility, and it's just the best. It's just the best thing. So there's basically like a base price for publishing with Flex when you have a book that you want to publish. And the best part is you don't even have to have the book written yet. You can just buy the package, because some of the enhancement services that you might want to get in addition to the base package could be things you might want to use throughout the course of writing and publishing your book, such as author coaching. And to be able to have the author coaching package, author coaching sessions rather, enables the author to get coached by us, by Kyra and me, or one of us, to during their process of writing or finishing or publishing, or before, during, and after being published, depending on what they feel that they need the most support with. So that is a huge bonus that people have requested, because some people need that kind of support throughout the publishing process. So that's a reason why you might buy a publishing package before having your book finished, right? It's just for the author coaching. So there's different add-on enhancements like that in the Flex package, which makes it so versatile for people.
Yeah, I agree. And there's lots of really cool stuff beyond the author coaching too. So we'll definitely want to share that with everybody as we go along, because I think one of the biggest problems most new authors and writers have is like, okay, I got my manuscript. Now what? Now what do I do? And you go out on these forums and different things like that, and they're like, oh, we'll just upload it to KDP, and you can totally do that. But it's not easy. It's not just oh, okay, now I have the book, and then I'm just going to push 2 buttons. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did. Even with things like Lulu or printers or that kind of thing, it has to be formatted perfectly or it gets rejected. The book cover design needs to be really spot on, or booksellers aren't going to want to have it in their stores. See, you can't judge a book by its cover. We've all heard that kind of thing. But booksellers do judge a book by its cover. And so in order to get it in there, you have to be really mindful of that kind of thing. And so that's where we come in, is to make sure that it looks amazing and it's exactly the way you want it to be. And if we can build on, the foundation of what you already have, then we have you have a much better chance of having your book be seen more often. I see Kenny is watching. Hi, Kennykins.
Kenny.
I see Kim is watching us too. So
Kenny.
Say hi to us in the comments. Want to definitely say hi. So yeah, let's see what we've got for questions here. I just kind of worked up something real quick. So what do you feel inspired us, Todd, to create the Flex publishing package that would allow authors to start the publishing process without a completed manuscript? Why did we choose that? Why did you choose that? Why did you want to do that?
Well, like I was alluding earlier, having the option to get supported throughout the writing and publishing process is something that a lot of writer authors want. So we just gave them that option with the Flex package. With our previous package, Easy Published, you couldn't do that. They had to have their manuscript 100% complete before submitting it to us. And it didn't include copy editing either. So they really had to be on the ball with that. But we've sunsetted the easy publish, and we gave it a proper burial, and we've introduced Flex in its place. And Flex allows authors to submit a manuscript at any time up to 2 years from purchase date. Okay, and that's a hard 2 years. It doesn't get, so there's no longer than that. But I mean, it doesn't get extended, is what I'm trying to say. But that's plenty of time. I mean, I write most of my books in 3 months. So, if I can do that, and some people can do it in 14 days. So the time frame is very generous. And that way you get plenty of time to write, to feel through your process, whatever it is you want to do. You also basically get to lock in the price of the easy, or not the easy, the Flex package. And then you have the option to do any of those other author enhancements as well, including copy editing. We just added copy editing to it. So if once your manuscript is complete, you want to submit it for copy editing before publishing, you can do that. And that is a add-on option, an enhancement with the Flex package. Already talked about author coaching. That's something that is very popular with our authors. So they get to learn. They can have us help them develop their material if needed, or structure it, or whatever, if they're in the very beginning stages, or if they're pretty well polished. Sometimes it's more like confidence coaching with the authors, especially for their first timers, which is totally fine. I was nervous the first time I ever published a book, but you get over it. So it's not a big deal. It's nice to have that kind of support in doing it, because you really are putting yourself out there. So those are two of the enhancements we have, is the copy editing and the author coaching. Those are the bigger ones. And then some of the more juicy and exciting ones is going to be the Amazon bestseller ranking. Hopefully I'm not jumping ahead here. Amazon bestseller ranking, and we also offer audio video transcription. I'll touch on that really quick. Audio video transcription means if you haven't written a manuscript, but you have a bunch of content that you want transcribed. Let's say you made a whole bunch of videos, right, on YouTube or something. But whether it's videos or audios, we can transcribe that stuff to a Word document for you very inexpensively. And then you have a whole bunch of, now we don't make it into a book, just so you know, we give you a direct transcript of all that stuff. And then you can, then you have it to play with, and you can start organizing your content, deciding how you might want to format that into a book, right? If you buy a Flex package, you can coach with us, and we can talk to you about how you might want to format that into a book, or turn that content into a book. If it's stuff you're already teaching about, by the way, you might as well have a book to up-level your creativity, to up-level your credibility. And then you can sell that on your YouTube videos as well. Just put a link to the description. Nothing up-levels your credibility like a published book, especially if you're like a holistic practitioner, or any industry for that matter.
Yeah.
So that's
I saw a really great thing on it's a political thing, but it's like a political YouTube channel. But what I really loved about it was that at the end of every single one of his videos, he would say, I'm doing something very exciting. I've written my first book. Here's how you can pre-order. Go to the link in the comments.
Yeah.
And so and I've been seeing it for about 6 months, I guess. And so, so even before his book is done, and then he showed his book, then he once he got his copy, he just got his copies last week. When you follow along with someone, you become invested in what they're doing. And of course, I'm really like paying attention to those kinds of things just for marketing for our authors. And but yeah, he would put it up. He would put his book cover up, kind of beside him in the video, and he would say, "Yeah, I'm looking for pre-orders, and I really hope that you'll love it, as much as I love making it." And then and then that helps him to buy his copies and then he'll send them out. And he also has like special editions where he does a little nameplate as well that has his signature and all that kind of stuff. So then he makes it very special, and then he sends it out to his folks that did all the pre-orders. So that pays for his book. That pays for produce. Well, I think I think he might have been HarperCollins, but that helps him tremendously to be able to, pay for his copies, pay for those, and it's a special edition. So then that is also just kind of amps it up, and he charges $25 to $35 a copy, for those very special editions. Yes, it is. It is. And so to me, it's a really cool way. Whenever you see somebody publishing a book or having a book out there or getting their book out there, pay attention to what they're doing. And just like you said there, if you've got a YouTube channel, put your book on there and tell people about it for sure.
Good job marketing on his part.
Yeah. Kenny says, I'm actually writing a restaurant, so y'all both get some credit. Perfect. Yeah. We'll put our names in the acknowledgments. We love that. There's nothing better than seeing your name in the acknowledgments. Like Joe's book that's just come out this week. Here, I'll show it. Because I got it. Joe's book that came out this week.
Hey.
Shadows and Light, Journeys of a Spirit Healer. There he is. There's Joe. Look at this baby. This is a baby. And it's incredible. It's an incredible book. It's an incredible story. But I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay.
Oh, he put us in the acknowledgments. I mean, we did publish it, but he did put our name in the acknowledgement. So it was really fun when I was formatting it, and I was like, oh, that's us. So people do like it when you acknowledge them, I will say.
I'm going to go ahead and agree.
Yeah, don't forget deep sigh before answering the questions. Yes.
Okay.
No problem. And let's see, someone I met at a concert watched my YouTube videos and asked for a copy of my old CD. I asked for 20 and he sent me 30. Physical copy seemed to command a premium. That is absolutely true. And especially since it's one of your old CDs from 20 years ago? I mean, that's coveted.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Limited edition, maybe even.
Limited edition. That's key. All right.
Shall I continue about Flex?
Yeah.
Did you want me to go into the other two major pieces
of? Let me see what the next question is, and if I want to answer this question too. For me, the answer to that question is, of course, there was a need. We felt like, kind of like sight unseen, you're publishing your book right now and uploading it this hot second and paying for it was a little bit too, there wasn't enough open water there to feel like you were connecting. Now, if you already knew us, Easy Publish was just easy because it's like you already know everything you need to know, or you've already published with us, or you've been in collaboration book, and it's effortless. But what we found is that we were starting to branch out a little bit more, and people weren't quite understanding or getting that, this is legit. It's amazing. We're fantastic, and so for them to have a little half step in there with Flex Publish has been really good.
Yeah, that's a good point. And just to put a cap on that, I think Flex Publish gives authors more flexibility, it's more in support of authors to give them the type of support that they need while they're doing it, right? While they're, because they can email us with questions. Just doing that. I mean, as long as if it's about the publishing process and the way, being able to do that while you're a customer um, gives you a lot of peace of mind, I think, to be able to ask those questions via email and get responses. Not coaching, that would be author coaching, but questions about the process, or, can you walk me through this? Because it's not super cut and dry. And there's a lot of unanswered questions about publishing, really. So it's like Kyra said earlier, yeah, anyone can like upload something to Amazon, but it's probably not going to look very good if it's not professionally produced, right? So, I mean, unless you're lucky, but in my experience, you can really tell when someone did something themselves on Amazon versus when they had help getting it professionally done. So, to each her or her own, it's fine. But it's kind of like anyone, a good analogy is like anyone can sing because everyone has a voice, like anyone can attempt to sing, but how good is it going to sound without training, you know, or without practice, things like that. So just because I think somebody said years ago as an analogy, it's like, well, everyone can sing. That doesn't mean everyone should, you know. you
Right,
could
let the ratatouille thing.
you could apply that.
Everyone can cook, but not everyone should.
You can apply that to publishing. Yeah,
Right.
you can upload a PDF to Amazon if you want. And
Yeah.
if you're okay with that, just looking as it looks, fine, great. But there's a lot of other moving components to what makes a book, and it takes time and a lot of different elements together. It's almost like a football play. There's lots of different people on the field with specific functions doing specific things that make it all come together. And if you don't know about all of the different positions and the different things that are involved, you're either going to have a well executed play or you'll have a free for all with people bumping into each other,
Right. That's right. All right. So let's see. Let's talk about the 2-year time frame. The 2-year time frame for the manuscript. The question is, how does that benefit authors, and what feedback have you received from authors about this flexibility? For me, it has been a sigh of relief. Okay, I have time, I have some space, but I do want to get it done. And I stress it in no uncertain terms. You will lose your investment if you do not get your book done in 2 years. There is a deadline, and that is also incredibly helpful, because otherwise, if there's no end in sight, then people just kind of go, oh, I've got time. And then they just keep putting it off, keep putting it off, keep putting it off, because publishing books is not the easiest thing in the world. It can be scary. It can be, it can, all of your self-confidence can be rolled up in it. You can feel alone, in the process too. And that's when we add things like author coaching. So I just did author coaching yesterday for one of our authors. And, I think, and then I've also gotten other feedback too, but just the idea that I'm not alone in this. I have somebody to walk through this outline with me. I have somebody who can give me suggestions on how things are placed and what makes more sense. And even asking her yesterday, I was like, do you feel better? She's like, yeah, I feel like I've got some momentum. I can move forward. And this is the way that I work the best. And, she takes very much that same approach that I do, which is I create an outline, I create the subheadings, and then I pull a subheading out. And that's the one I'm going to focus on for 5 or 10 minutes. And because I feel drawn to creating in that space. And so for me, on this side of the thing is like when we do have something like author coaching set up, then that creates that accountability piece. And sometimes if something is scary, if something feels too big and you're trying to do it all alone, and you realize you don't have to, it makes things much easier. And that 2-year time frame gives you breathing room, but at the same time, it also puts things in a box and says, this is the amount of time that you have to do it, which I think is really key for this particular publishing package that we offer, Flex Publish.
And I will interject and say, hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi, Sylvie.
Hi, Sylvie. Hi, Janine. Is it Jamie? Jeanine? It's Janine.
I don't know any Janine. I don't think.
You do? Janine Nelson.
Oh, I didn't get a notification that Janine Nelson was watching.
Oh. Caroline.
I did. I just said hi. Hi, Janine.
Hi, Janine. Hi, Caroline. Hi, friends.
If you haven't gotten a chance, definitely go check out Carolyn's teaching class every Sunday and Wednesday on accessible via Facebook. It's a Course in Miracles teaching class. It's so good. I've been going for years. She's an incredible.
Carolyn, put your link up.
Carolyn, please put your link in the comments to your Facebook group so we can have them check it out and join your link via the classes every Sunday and Wednesday. ACIM and Way of Mastery, if you're interested in that. What did I want to say? Author coaching. I know you have a question about that. Changing my life. Last one was like nuts. Last one was really good. I was there. It was awesome. Also, the 2-year time frame does give the flexibility with Flex. And when you combine that with author coaching, not every author needs author coaching, but I'd say the majority of them want it. It provides an accountability system for getting it done. You know, if your manuscript isn't done prior to purchasing a package, you know, purchasing one and doing author coaching can provide that accountability. But in some cases, people might be prone to self-sabotage and to put it off, you know, and treat it like a purchase of exercise equipment where we use it a few times and then we kind of forget about it and it attracts dust in the corner, right? Well, we have to use it, right? Use it or lose it kind of thing. So author coaching sessions spaced out over a certain amount of time helps to provide that accountability. And that's what some authors need, especially for their first book. It really makes a big difference in helping them to stay on track. Even if they're wanting to stay and not self-sabotaging, it could be super duper helpful to just really stay on point, on track, keeping your book a priority and getting it done. So that's that.
Did you have more you wanted to say before we kind of moved on?
I checked the questions and I noticed that they will be addressed later. So I'll just save what I was going to say for the later questions that you have prepared.
Awesome. And again, I just want to mention that Joe's book, Joe McMoneagle, Shadows and Lights, Journeys of a Spirit Healer, is launching this week. So it is out there on Amazon.com. For the Kindle version is free this week only until Saturday at midnight. So I did want to let you guys know if you want to go and head out there and download it, give him a quick review. If you have a chance just to quickly review it. I know you're good. I know you're good readers. But I also know this might be a lot to get through in a couple of days. But you can also leave a review later, after you've gotten your copy, but get your copy so you can have that verified sticker and you get it for free this week. So it's really a beautiful book. So definitely check that out. And are we ready to move on to the next one?
Sure.
All right. Well, I feel like we answered this question just now. Can you explain the importance of the personalized coaching sessions, including the Flex Publishing package, and how they support throughout their writing journeys, support authors? Yeah, we really covered that thoroughly. There's a lot to be said for accountability. So if you're doing this for yourself at home, this is what I would recommend, is that you create your outline, you create your subheadings for your different sections, and then go ahead and work at least 5 minutes a day writing something. whether it's right after you have your meditation, or after you exercise or something there like that. Just sit down 5 minutes, put a timer on, and do not stop, and just let it be a stream of consciousness. Don't edit it right in that sitting. And then if you feel like doing more, do a little bit more, but not a lot. And then do that every single day. And before you know it, you have a book. And then you want to go through and edit it later. Right? And Todd knows a lot more about the copy editing piece of that than I do, for sure. All right. Next, let's see. So how do the marketing services such as Amazon bestseller ranking and Barnes & Noble listing enhance an author's book visibility and sales? Excuse me. So I'll go ahead and answer this one because I do this a lot. This is where we launch a book and we help to get the book ranked to bestseller status on Amazon. We drive traffic, we do a free promotion, we do everything we can. But ultimately, not only do you become that best-selling author, so even right now, Joe is ranking #1 bestseller in new releases. So he's already doing an amazing job there. The SEO part, search engine optimization, that kind of like Google juice and KDP juice and Amazon juice of getting your book ranked is really the most important part of that whole thing, because then Amazon goes, oh, you're a book. You're a real book, because there are millions of books on KDP. So to stand out is really challenging. So when you start to get through kind of the fog, the KDP fog, you do so by doing these types of promotions, which are very valuable, very helpful, and important. The other thing is entering your book into writing contests and things like that, like what Todd just did recently. And I'm putting together a writing contest list of legit writing contests. But you can also submit some things to our writing contest that we've just started doing recently. And we just put one out today. So that's going to be in that newsletter that we just sent you out to you guys. If you want to be on our get on our newsletter, we do have that on our homepage to sign up for that. Right.
Our newsletter is so cool. You should totally subscribe. You can get it on our homepage at asyouwishpublishing.com. And we send it out every 2 weeks. And we've got fun announcements and writing contests and writing tips and look behind the scenes of a publishing company and interviews, all kinds of fun stuff that we do.
Blogs, our most recent blogs that have been
our
phenomenal.
Very blog that we have. I mean, if you're interested in publishing professionally and still owning your work, you definitely want to read the types of blog posts that we post on our website. And you can find it right at the top where it says blog at asyouwishpublishing.com.
It's very, very cool. So definitely check that out. It's right there on our homepage. So, but yeah, we want to share. We want to bring you wisdom and insight so that you can really bring your book out into the world, which is the priority. It really is. So, but then we look at Barnes & Noble. So we do have some on our blog post at asyouwishpublishing.com. We have the top 40 things that you can do to get your book into booksellers, indie bookstores, Barnes & Noble, and so on. And we do have this enhancement, this Barnes & Noble enhancement as well, that you can add to your package. So we're kind of doing it a little bit a different way. And I'll show you the kind of back office here in a moment. We're doing it in kind of a different way. Instead of having like payment plans and all that kind of stuff, you get to choose your own adventure. So you get to pay, do the base publishing, which would give you your professional book from, nuts and bolts of every single thing that you need for a beautiful, high quality, published book, that you are indie published, but you are published under As You Wish Publishing imprint. And so to get your book out there in a really wonderful way. So when you add on these enhancements, it's not like you're having to pay for it all at one time. You can do it over time if you need to, and you have 2 years to do that as well. So we try to make it easy, we try to make it affordable, and make it accessible for everyone. But the Barnes and Noble enhancement will help you to make it possible for you to get your book into Barnes and Noble stores. And then we have blog posts again on telling you how to do that. And so easy peasy. As far as, As You Wish Publishing best-selling books, all of them. All of our books have ranked to bestseller status on Amazon. So, 70 books or so, which I think is incredible. And we understand the system. We understand the process and the programming and how it works. And, to be honest with you, sometimes KDP can be kind of glitchy, but that doesn't mean we don't do everything we can to make sure that your book gets seen and downloaded. Hundreds of copies getting downloaded within, just a couple of days, which I think is so valuable for you to get your message out there in a bigger way. And that doesn't happen if you're doing it by yourself. It takes that know-how, it takes that drive, that willingness that we have to sit behind the computer, days on end to make sure that your book is getting seen. So
yeah. The bestseller ranking is not, I don't think that's something that people can do by themselves. Maybe, if they maybe try to figure it out.
It takes a while. It takes a lot. There's a lot of add-ons. There's a lot of programs that need to be purchased separately to understand. There's a philosophy to it. There's a structure to it.
Maybe an art more than a science.
Yeah, it is an art form. It is an art form. Picking the proper categories and making sure that you're staying up to date with all of the things that KDP has in the background, not, keyword stuffing and, I'm just going to say words and you'll be like, what? Metadata, making sure everything is lining up perfectly so that your book doesn't get banned. Like there is so many just things you don't want to deal with because you just wanted to be a writer, and we handle all those headaches for you.
It's kind of like being a marketing agency, because when I worked with SEO for a marketing agency, that's what people paid us for exclusively, was getting their website ranked and stuff. And so they get local traffic and whatnot, some of which those tips are going to be shared in my upcoming book, Butts and Seeds 2. If you're a holistic business owner, you're definitely going to want to check that out.
Oh, yeah. You better believe it.
The SEO practices go the same for Amazon KDP, which is a whole different set of rules, but it's the kind of thing you would want to pay for. And it's pretty cheap the way we have it priced and set up anyway. But that's if, everybody wants to be Amazon bestseller. And while there are some things that we can't control about the process because we don't own Amazon or anything.
Yes. If we did, oh boy, we would do it right. We would do it for authors, which is, anyway, go ahead.
True that. If so that we can't control every single factor, but we can, make sure that it gets to where it needs to go so that you can claim your book and yourself as a best-selling book and a best-selling author. And that's the most important thing when you have that add-on enhancement. And I think you mentioned that you can buy those enhancements at any time too, as a Flex author. You can buy them up front, or you can buy them as a standalone thing if it's something you want to add later before you're published, kind of thing. Did you go into, I think you touched on Barnes and Noble, right? I don't know if it was explicitly stated, but Amazon bestseller is a ranking algorithm. It's not bestseller per se. It's best-selling status, like I said, which means you rank to number one in one or more categories, and then you can claim the book as a Amazon best-selling author.
Right.
And I would definitely add Amazon best-selling author. I was going to say butts and seats. No, Barnes and Noble. That's new. That's a really cool thing that we're doing. And Kyra touched on it. I just want to emphasize so people understand that when you get the Barnes and Noble enhancement, it gives your book the capability to be shelved in Barnes and Noble stores, right? So Amazon is bestseller. I get to claim my book as a best-selling book and me as a best-selling author, which helps your marketing and your credibility. And if you're going to do more with your book and put it in front of people, those are the types of things you want to be able to say. And it's not that expensive either as an add-on. And then for Barnes and Noble enhancement, that's slightly different. It puts your book into their digital system so that it has the capability to be shelved in their store. So it doesn't automatically
the store
mean,
the store always gets the determining factor for sure.
so it doesn't automatically mean that your book will be shelved at Barnes and Noble. It means it becomes eligible to be shelved. And so we wrote a whole blog post about this right in the Barnes and Noble add-on enhancement area. So you can read all about this and see what it takes to do it. And it doesn't take a whole lot. You just have to talk to a store yourself. It's not that your book's going to be distributed nationally in all of the bookstores. That's not what the enhancement is for. But you many times you can go to any Barnes and Noble you want, and if a book is listed in their digital system, you can request that they carry it. Right. So that's what this enhancement allows you to do. It allows you to go to a Barnes and Noble and say, hey, can you carry this book on your shelf? And it's totally up to them. You know, we don't have any say in what their decisions are, but they can decide, sure, yeah, we'll get a couple copies and put it in the store and see if it sells and that kind of thing. Or you can buy it, or you can have friends and family who live in other towns, go to their Barnes and Noble and ask them to carry your book. And then your book gets more exposure out there too. So it's got some legs, man. If you've got
be totally grassroots. Yep.
It's got some legs. You can, the right kind of writer, the right kind of author is going to hear this information and be like, oh, snap, I could totally leverage that and build myself a launch team for physical distribution, you know, just by going or making phone calls even, or going to these different Barnes and Noble. And I think we also have a free distribution list of different bookstores and things. I don't know if Barnes and Noble's on that list and all over it is, but there's a lot of different bookstores that you could call and request that they carry your book, or if you know, from Amazon or from Barnes and Noble, things like that. So there's a little more legwork involved, but at the end of the day, they just want to sell books in their bookstores, you know, and if you've got a great book and if you're directing people to buy it, then maybe they're going to carry more, or maybe there are other opportunities like book signings and things, which many of our authors have done book signings. So there's a lot you can do with this, really, truly, if you want to promote yourself.
Yep. And you can do a book tour. You can set up a book tour, which is fun.
And you can do a book tour, which is also fun. And I think that's kind of implied with these different things I'm suggesting, maybe.
No, not necessarily. I mean, just calling the bookstore to see if they'll carry it is different from I'm coming to the store and I'm going to do a book signing or a talk or, you know, that kind of thing. I'm coming up the California coast and I'm going to stop at every single indie bookstore along the way.
So please have the table set out for me and with a stack of my books ready for me to sign and you too.
Well, no, there's a great, like I said, there's a terrific blog on our site. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put it up here.
Do it.
Because it's fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like, listen to some of these. Here, I'll share the screen. Look at this. 40 strategies to connect with bookstores across the U.S. using our exclusive list.
Yeah.
So you guys, you can just, you know, I mean, I don't spam or anything. You'll just be added to the newsletter list. But yeah, you can get our across the 50 states, all of the all the bookstores and things that are in the major cities.
That's a huge, huge free gift right there.
Totally free.
I
Yep.
haven't seen any other publisher offer anything like that before.
Planning a fulfill, and it took me a very long time to do it. So I think giving us your email address is a good exchange.
Oh,
Because it's
I mean, it should be paid, really.
days to do it.
It
But
should
I
be a
wanted to
paid
give it as a
product.
free gift, right? Planning and fulfilling a book signing tour for any published authors. That I think is huge. So this is, we like to give you information and options and that kind of thing. How to use the pre-orders to fund your book projects as an indie author. So that's kind of similar to what I was talking about with that guy. And so that's something you do very easily. We've got some of our interviews in here, like we
Yeah.
saw with Joe. Comprehensive checklist for book marketing with TikTok influencers.
Huge.
So really going up to that next level, overcoming imposter syndrome. And then we also have information about the Flex Publish. So if you go out to our blog, you'll be able to see, kind of the written out what we're talking about here. So there's that. I will go ahead and put this.
The cool thing about the blog is that there's information for people who are brand new to this, as well as people who are advanced, and a lot of shades of gray in between, right? Since we are historically catered to giving people voices, because that was part of our initial mission to give people a voice. A lot of people we published have been first-time authors, right? So like collaboration book authors, and some of them went on to do solo book work, and that's fantastic. But not a lot of professional writers necessarily. We would love to have them too, so the thing is that a lot of the blogs have a lot of things like, how to own your identity as an author, how to own your authorship journey, right? How to get over doubts, imposter syndrome and things like that. There's lots of cool stuff like that in there that's really encouraging for you. So we're the publisher to pick for sure if you are a first-time author, if you're thinking about writing a book, or if you don't consider yourself a professional author, which many of us aren't. Even I'm not a professional author, and I've written 5 books. All right. So, but most people aren't going to be making a living professional, right? Making a living with their authorship. But so that's why so many of the blogs are focused on helping people who are building up the courage to do that. And that's like I said, that's our mission, is to help give people that voice, and then they go on to do other things. And like I said, a smaller percentage of them have gone on to do bigger things and really promote themselves using a lot of these free tools, like the 40 cities, 40 bookstores list and whatnot. That's mind-boggling that's for free. And I think we're going to have a private conversation about that.
Yeah, right.
That's amazing that's free. And a friend of mine who is a little bit more of an influencer commented to me and sent me a message about that one blog that said for TikTok influencers, how to leverage a TikTok influencer. And he said, dude, this is incredible. This blog post is incredible. And I knew, and you gave me that one to do, to produce. And I knew that wasn't going to apply to a lot of people, but I knew that it was killer information, just incredible. And the person who had a following really spoke to that, right? And is like, oh yeah, I've got a following. I'm going to leverage the heck out of this TikTok. And as you may or may not know, TikTok is an incredible place for promoting yourself or your business or your book, whatever it is you're wanting to do. So lots of different ways you don't have to be, what am I trying to say? Lots of things. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to consider yourself a writer to get published.
Right. You don't need the pipe and the cap and the smoking jacket.
No.
Right? And say, I'm going to the country to write. I've got to write my manuscript. No, you're just a regular guy, regular gal, who's writing a little bit between, feeding your kids, or between
Yep.
you get off from work and you just kind of go, oh, I'm here now, and I've got 5 minutes. I'm going to sit down and write.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you can find Flex Publish out here on asyouwishpublishing.com/I write. And and you can also find it on our homepage. You can find it everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here for Flex Publish. Very easy, step by step, so you don't have to feel like you're overwhelmed or anything like that. Again, the basic Flex Publishing package includes everything that you see here: ISBN, book cover mock-ups, Kindle version, the paperback version, the book cover design, front, back, spine. We do the internal formatting for 6x9 trim size. 100% royalties paid to you, 100% copyright, lowest print cost to you, the author. There's no middleman. We are setting all of this stuff up so that you can be successful. You can get your wholesale orders through KDP 24/7. You can buy one copy or many copies. I always recommend getting many copies because that offsets the shipping price. And then we have a step-by-step author page to ensure that it's super easy. And just make sure you give us your manuscript in 2 years. Again, we have those enhancements: Amazon bestseller ranking, Barnes & Noble, copy editing, author coaching, and audio video transcription if you need that. So also, if you're not ready yet, here are some other options for you as well. So we also have this wonderful thing, which is the manuscript validation score certificate. If you aren't sure if your manuscript is ready or your idea is if it's up to kind of speed, we do this for free. We were doing it as a cost, but we're doing it for free now. And we can give you that detailed feedback on clarity, accuracy, originality, engagement, and readability. So
You don't have to be a writer to do it. The main thing is, if any of that sounded Greek to you, the main thing is we take care of everything. You pay us for the service. You get your book published on Amazon and print on demand for print and KDP. So, excuse me, print and ebook, right, through Amazon KDP. And then all the royalties go directly to you, and you're getting your book professionally published with the publisher's imprint, but you own your book, and all the royalties go directly to you. They do not go through us. We do not get a cut. You only pay us for your service, the service of publishing your book. So it's professional self-publishing, basically. That's what it is. And if you go out and you search around for examples of professionally self-published books or professionally published books versus people who have just self-published themselves, look at the quality of the difference and buy one of each. Look at the formatting, look at the setup, see how distinguishable the differences really are. And if it doesn't really matter to you, then it doesn't matter, but if you do want to have a really cool experience and just be walked through the process and get your confidence built up, because you may have more to share than just one book, then you might want to go through this process, and let us walk you through it and get that confidence up and share more things, right? There's lots of cool things going on. If you could share really quick the homepage, I want to call attention to people a couple things that they may not know about. I don't know if I can share my screen.
Hold on 1 second. Getting there.
I thought you had it up, so I figured it would be easy.
I just needed to move to the page.
So if you'll scroll down just a touch there, you're going to see Flex Publish right to the left. And then to the right, this has been a hot item lately, children's books. We are now doing children's books, if you did not know. So if you know anybody who wants to publish a children's book, we've got it all set up and ready to go. So definitely reach out to us for that. There are some standards that we have in there. So just open that link up if you want to, or just we'll tell you the kinds of things that you need to know about it and how it works. It's definitely not as demanding as writing your own memoir or a solo book or nonfiction book, obviously. There are other things involved. There is still a manuscript. There's illustrations. There's having to work with an illustrator for custom designs, things like that. We do have a specific way that we do it. So you have to do it our way, but it's very, very freeing. It's very, very easy. It's very accommodating to helping you to do things. So you'll find that that's pretty cool. So if you know people, a lot of people are interested in doing a children's book before they're even interested in doing their own solo book, because I think the children's book there's more moving pieces in a way, and they're more comprehensive in terms of publishing, but it's very non-demanding to the author because they're not really having to divulge a lot of personal information, or just having to write 50,000 words. We're talking 28 pages instead of that. So that can be a fun way to kind of build your confidence up and move into publishing just with the children's book. And it's really fun too.
Yep.
And if you'll scroll up a little bit, please. Collaboration book right there. You know about our collaboration books. It's a way to write a chapter. We have one right now called Synchronicity, which we just opened registration for. The registration for that closes on 11/4. If you've got a cool synchronicity story, a lot of people in our circles do, definitely join us for this book. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. That's a cool one to do too. If you can back up, please, to the previous page. And then limited edition, not as many people do this, but this is just if you don't need it to be purchasable on Amazon, but you just want some print copies just for a small group of people, but you're not putting it out to the public, do a limited edition. Print only, no publishing, okay? And then finally, the thing that we have is audiobook publish, which is something that a lot of people have taken us up on. It gives you the option to, and a lot of people want to narrate their own book. So this gives you the option to narrate your own book, and you'll work with me on that directly. This is a add-on service, or a kind of a standalone, actually, after you've already done Flex. Once it's published and it's all done, then you can add an audiobook version. And that'll show up right on your Amazon page, along with your print, your ebook, and then it'll say audiobook too. It'll be published to Audible, so people can find you on Audible with your book.
Yeah, and just so you know, even though this says 40%, that's what ACX pays out. We are not taking 60% of that fee. There's no middleman again.
No middleman again.
Your account.
We give you the maximum of whatever they give you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's paid directly from them to you, not through us, which is what distinguishes us differently from other indie publishing companies.
The other guys down the street.
Them other guys.
And then I'll just blast through the last things there. For author support services, author strategy session, that's an hour-long paid session, very cheap, that allows you to ask us any questions or any kind of advice related to your book. Questions about the industry, questions about traditional versus self-published versus any other kind, or just advice, on how to position your book in the market. We've had plenty of authors call us and have these types of meetings. People from the public who we've never met before. I've got this kind of book. Can you talk to me about it? And we help them kind of analyze what kind of book they have. And we've seen all kinds of different books. Really cool books that we've never thought about anyone publishing, but there are lots of different variety, and it helped give them suggestions on where they might consider publishing it for their best success. And a lot of times we've referred them elsewhere. Sometimes we've suggested to go with us, or we've just given some kind of advice that's helped them to really say, you know what, thank you so much. I'll explore this other avenue if that were the case. It just kind of depends on their specific situation. Did you want to comment on that? No.
Nope.
MVSC, Manuscript Validation Score Certificate. Kyra already touched on that. It used to be paid. Now it's free. Whether you have a couple of chapters or an entire book, you can submit it to us and we will give you an evaluation score of how well it's written based on several different factors. It's really robust. It's really cool. And I think it's pretty robust, isn't it, Kyra? Doesn't it give? Yeah. And it's really cool. I do it with my own books too, and I use it to help me improve certain sections of my books. There's nothing like having it tell me where I suck and what I need to do better. So, no, it's really nice. And then WordRise.
No, it gives you strengths and areas for improvement,
right?
And it details it out. So it's very good. And just so you know, if you do it, an 8 is an A. So it's a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is almost unattainable. So just so you know, it's not like our scoring from when we were kids, you know, where it was like, oh, I got a 7. That's 70%. It's a C, you know, or whatever. That's not how it works. So, but yeah, it's fantastic.
We'll help you interpret the results.
Yes, of course.
WordRise review is really a lot more in depth. It's like times 100. That is a paid service, and it is gives detailed feedback on your content. And it's best to have a lot written for this because it's so in depth to give you improvement strategies for your writing. People love this one because it really helps them to strengthen their writing. Which you don't have to use. I mean, you can use it before buying a Flex package or after, but it's super helpful. And then the last two things I'll just glaze over really quick. We have a copy editing standalone service for people who want to do that called Grammar Guardian. It's also available through Flex as an add-on enhancement, although here as a standalone, it's a little bit more expensive than having it as an add-on enhancement. And then the same thing here, audio video transcription, also an add-on enhancement. I think it's either the same price or a little bit cheaper if you do it through Flex versus doing it as a standalone. Mm-hmm. So those are all of our awesome services. The author support services are standalones. And then, of course, you've got the other publishing options. And then brand new is the newsletter, which we're offering every 2 weeks. If you're not on the newsletter and subscribed, definitely subscribe because it is such a fun newsletter. And I make it with the cool stuff in it. And we feature our authors, we feature our interviewees in it. And we've got lots of cool things happening with that and lots of fun things in the pipeline for that too. And we share some of me and Kyra's adventures as well.
That's right.
The kinds of things that we do and what we go eat on our cheat days and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. And today we got to publish and post, we got to post on the newsletter the winners of our poetry writing contest. And so I think I'd like to announce that as we wrap up here. So our gold winner was Crystal Camp Craftstuff. So congratulations. She is the big winner of the July-August writing contest, our poetry writing contest. Excellent job. Our silver winner was someone we don't know. So someone that has kind of come in from outside, Samantha Hansen. She has won silver place. And so we were going to reach out to both Crystal and Samantha and let them know that they've won in case they aren't watching right now. And our bronze winner is Gigi Rush. Gold. So congratulations, you guys. You are the big winners. And just know that that we are going to be doing a writing contest every single month. That's my plan anyway. So we've got a new one out, and it is basically It's a letters, either letters to yourself, letters across timelines.
Yeah.
And you've got 3,000 words that you can play with this idea. And it's a little bit more in depth on the themes that you can find out more about either in the As You Write community that we have out there, who we're speaking to right now. And I'll also be posting that contest multiple times on my profile also. So congratulations, winners. Well done.
Congratulations.
And to everybody else who submitted, this was a very hard decision. Very hard. Everybody did a phenomenal job with their poetry. I am not a poetry writer, and I'm like blown away. So you all did phenomenal. Thank you. We had 9 entries. So well done.
It's really fun when it's a free contest and it's just a way to participate in the community. You know, you might even look at it as a stepping stone to maybe even being in a collaboration book at some point, if you're wanting to get out there in a bigger way with your writing. So lots of options for participating in our community and leveling up your confidence if you're wanting to do that. That's definitely what we're all about, giving people a voice and helping them to share their message. So
yes. So thank you for everybody who tuned in with us tonight. And I saw a lot of people that were watching. Beth was watching for a moment. Sylvie, Carolyn, Kenny, Janine, Kim, all you guys, thank you so much. I say Carolyn, thank you guys so much for watching and being a part of the As You Wish Publishing family, and for being a part of our world. And sign up for the newsletter. We want to see you out there. Sign up for our next collab book. That's asyouwishpublishing.com/we write. And hang out with us. Let's do more of it. Let's keep sharing our voices and keep getting out there. Good. Anything from you, Todd? Love it.
I love it. Thank you for watching. If you know anyone interested, if you're interested, and we've shared a plethora of ways to engage in our community and in our business, and definitely subscribe to the newsletter on our homepage at asyouwishpublishing.com so you can stay updated with all the fun, cool stuff that we have going on. And we will keep providing opportunities to get you for you to engage in our community and interact and enjoy. There's just so much happening. It's just a lot of fun. And if you know anyone who has an interest in writing or has a bunch of journals at home and they want to consider writing, join us for Synchronicity or join us in the next writing contest. And for those of you, if you're watching to the very end here, for those of you who have already agreed to be on my Amazon book review team for our upcoming book, Butts and Seeds 2, turn your holistic side hustle into a successful local business, I think is what it is. I will keep you updated on that. It's probably at this point going to be September before the book comes out. But I will keep you updated as soon as I have something more for you this month in terms of a tighter time frame. But just for the most part, just plan on the book launch probably happening in September at this point. That's it.
All right. That's it. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing night, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye-bye.